Good morning, everybody. It's Chris here from Serene Education Ltd. 4 Majors Analysis Update for the Friday, the 15th of July, 2011. Hi guys, just going to be looking at our 4 majors this morning, starting with the Euro against US dollar on our CTC strategy. Daily, I've put in some lines here, primarily the intermediate trend down. We've had a price support in the past that was breached just recently, and we are now trading just on the underside of that. Yesterday's candle saw a lot of momentum to the upside, however, it was brought back down, or the US market session closed low at the lower end of the wick, forming this exhaustion candle or shooting star pattern at a prior resistance level or prior support, apologies. So where to this? Well, this could likely be a consolidation from, if you take the prior move to the downside, and then this is a bounce higher and a consolidation at 50%. It hasn't gone any higher than 50% of the retracement. This is a retracement of 50% from the initial move. It ideally needs to be breaking and trading higher than this prior support area. So anything above 14,200 would be far better in terms of likely further upside movement. Notice the CTC is still red on a daily time frame. We are still looking bearish for Euro, even though we've had a bounce to higher. Price is still in an intermediate downtrend. Until we are trading higher than that, then we should be looking for further long-term bullishness. But as it stands now, you can see we are in a consolidation range to the downside, and it's found support, and it's now bounced higher. However, it hasn't failed to confirm bullish long-term movement by giving us this candle here. Ideally, want to see a bullish engulfing, closing high today and above the 1400. The 14,200 mark would definitely give us indication for further upside movement. Otherwise, what we're seeing here is a bounce, a failure of 50%, which happens to be the prior support area, and then an exhaustion candle, confirming there's more bearish sentiments in this, and we could see further downside movement, and ideally back to the 1400 mark or prior support at roughly 1400 is our next possible target for this pair. Next up is sterling against the US dollar on a daily time frame. Here again, we saw this huge bullish engulfing pattern, clearing out or making up for all that indecision trading here. Before, we saw price reverting higher and trading slightly higher. However, that was short-lived. We saw more trading at the bottom end of the wick by the time the US session closed last night, and we're still trading below the intermediate trend. As I mentioned, we need to be seeing a definite break and close higher than the intermediate trend to give us indication that we're going to see further bullishness after that massive up candle that we saw recently. Fair to see that is just a consolidation. Notice the prior swing still needs to be breached. Ideally needs to be trading above the prior swing low, in this case above 16,2500, to also indicate that we are still looking for longs. It's failed to trade higher than two very important parts. Ideally, you can see that price is testing a prior strong support and resistance area. A lot of support here through here, but we are in this consolidation here. But be aware, a lot of indecision. You can see price is trading at the low end of the wick. We could see price being squeezed and it could drop lower. However, if we see a bullish engulfing and it closes higher than yesterday's candle high and at least attempts 16,2500, then ideally what we're seeing is a break above this support area here, price support, and by doing so, the likelihood of further upside movement is far greater than looking for further shorting opportunities. Next pair is the US dollar against Swiss franc. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. Here again, you can see we're very much in an extended negative trend to the downside, and the US dollar has lost a lot of ground to the Swiss franc. However, we've seen a prior support and resistance roughly around the 830, 835 mark, a support area, and we've seen a break of that lower. However, yesterday's candle showed more action towards the upper end of the wick, confirming there was more buying in the market. then selling after this breakout, and US or Asian market trading this morning going into the European session has seen a small range so far being traded, but still at the upper end of the wick. Are we likely to see a consolidation today? It remains to be seen. A lot of news out US stateside this afternoon. We have got the core CPI month-on-month figures, CPI month-on-month. We have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. What else do we have? We have prelim UOM consumer sentiment. There's a lot of news out this afternoon. And most importantly, this afternoon at 5 p.m. we have the bank stress test results for Europe. That could be a major factor in today. If we see a lot of the European banks fail that stress test result, we could see the US dollar strengthen that news, or it could be the other way around, where we could see a far better test results, where we see a lot of banks actually passing it, which will give us a lot of indication that the euros are not as bad shape as we potentially thought it might be. But that would be considered quite lucky to see that. It's looking quite negative at the moment, but we'll only find out for definite what the figure is at roughly 5 p.m. GMT local time. So we could see consolidation till that news is, or at least until this afternoon's trading US session, before we see a bit of movement in this pair today. So as it stands now, more trading at the upper end of the wick, giving us an indication there is likely to be for consolidation to the upside for this pair after this breakout. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. We've seen a huge down move in the market. We're trading well below the 80 mark now, which happened to be a long price support and resistance level for this pair. And you could see that there was a cause for panic, for concern, let's put it that way. I wouldn't say panic, concern in terms of where price the US dollar had been, was trading after that significant break lower, bearish indication. Primarily there was talk of intervention, and there's also the huge issue that we're seeing with funding, etc. A lot of government officials in the States are at loggerheads as to how to pay for this debt that we're seeing in the US, and a lot of the governors and politicians are against or for it, and we're seeing a lot of indecision in there. So we've seen two spinning tops, a bullish engulfing spinning top here in particular. So the US, going into the Asian market, at the end of the Asian market, we've seen price dip slightly lower. However, we're still trading above the close of yesterday, and going into the European session, we're seeing it trading to the upside of that. So we could be seeing a consolidation. As I mentioned on the prior pair, we are going to see a lot of news out this afternoon for the US pair in particular, so that could be factored in this particular trade for today. So we could see consolidation until such time as we get an indication of what the news is like this afternoon. And going into this weekend, there's still going to be a lot of meetings, etc., as to thrash out a deal relating to the US debt issue that's on everybody's minds at the moment now, especially after Bernanke said that they are prepared to throw more money at the problem, but lots more remains to be seen. We need to definitely see an indication of that and what that likely played out is before we even think about trading. So consolidation, first thing, European session, we're seeing upside movement. We could see further upside movement. Be aware that if this is a potential consolidation, 50% would take us back to the 80%. 38.2% is just short of that at 79.60s. So we could see a consolidation up to these points before we get the news announcement this afternoon. So we could see consolidation intraday. Look for potential upside movements. Ideally, we want to see it close the lower end of the wick, or close lower than this bullish spinning top here to give us an indication of further downside movements. So intraday, we could see hesitation, at least potential for price to pull back to at least the 79.60 mark, ideally back to 50, which would be the underside. So we could see a pullback, a breakout pullback, and then a continuation. but that'll all stem on the news later this afternoon. So expect slight consolidation, hesitation before that. But that's about it for today. I hope you had a fantastic trading week. There were a lot of pips you made this week. Some of our students did really, really well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend with family and friends. And we'll see you Monday, sharp. Take care, all the best, and trade serenely.